Good morning. How are you, grade 6? Welcome to our lesson for today. Today we are going to study Unit 1, Lesson 2, Grammar. Our lesson for today is about present perfect. The usage. We use the present perfect to talk about experiences in the past, but we don't say exactly when they happened. We talk about something that happened in the past, but we don't say when this thing happened. The form of the present perfect. In affirmative form, we start with the subject, then we use have or has according to the subject itself. If it is singular subject, we use has. If it is plural, we use have. So we use have with I, we, you, they, and any plural noun. And we use has with he, she, it, or any singular noun. Then we use the past participle of the verb. For example, I have been to Mexico. She has visited the Egyptian Museum. In the negative form, for negative sentences, just add not after have or has, like in these examples. Number 1, I have not eaten dinner, or I haven't eaten dinner. Number 2, he has not finished his homework, or he hasn't finished his homework. How to ask a question using the present perfect. To ask a question in the present perfect, start with have or has for yes or no questions. Use have or has at the beginning, then the subject, then the past participle, and the object. For example, number 1, have you ever eaten shrimp? I can answer with yes or no. Yes, I have. No, I have not, or no, I haven't. Number 2, has she done her homework? Yes, she has, or no, she has not. No, she hasn't. So, what's the difference between have been and have gone? Have been means or refers to a complete journey in the past, and it means that he went and came back. For example, he has been to London many times. Is he still there in London now? No. He has been means he has gone to London, then he came back here. Number 2, have gone refers to a journey from which the speaker has not returned yet. For example, he has gone to the bank and until now he didn't come back. He should be back soon. Present perfect uses. The present perfect has 2 main uses. Number 1, to talk about an action in the past with no specific time, as we have already mentioned. Number 2, to talk about an action in the past that continue into the present. For example, I have lived in Paris for 3 years. It means I live in Paris now. She has worked as a teacher since 2003. She started to teach in 2003. She is still a teacher right now. present perfect keywords. These words, we call them keywords for the present perfect. So if we see any one of them in a sentence, it means we should use the present perfect. Number 1, for, since, already, yet, still, ever, never, still, and just. Let's talk about them in details. The first one is for. For is used to show the duration or the period of the action. For example, I have been a teacher for 5 years. This is the duration of being a teacher. Karen has lived in Toronto for 8 years. She has already completed 8 years living there in Toronto. Since. Since is used to show the starting point of the action. The starting point of the action. For example, I have been a teacher since 2010. Means I started working as a teacher in 2010. Karen has lived in Toronto since she was young. Means she started living there when she was young. See how for and since are similar but different. Examples: I have been a teacher since 2004. I have been a teacher for 17 years. Means from 2004 until now, there are 17 years past for me being a teacher. He has not eaten since 2 p.m. If we want to use for, he has not eaten for 6 hours. With since, we only talk about the starting point of the verb. Here, I started being a teacher in 2004, but the period or the duration of being a teacher for me is 17 years. And the second example, he hasn't eaten since 2 p.m. He didn't eat, or the time he didn't eat until now, he started not eating 2 p.m. And until now, it has already passed 6 hours. So we use for with the period or the duration of the time. Yet. Yet is used for negative sentences and questions. It comes at the end of the sentence or at the end of the question. For example, in negative sentences, I have not or I haven't eaten dinner yet. She has not or she hasn't seen that movie yet. With questions, have you eaten dinner yet? Has he seen that movie yet? So in both forms, negative and questions, yet is used at the end of the sentence. Already. Already is used for affirmative sentences. It can go at the end of the sentence. For example, I have eaten dinner already, or she has taken the test already. Dan and Jane have had breakfast already. Already also goes between the auxiliary and the main verb. So it has two positions in the sentence. The first one at the end of the sentence, and the second one is between the auxiliary have or has and the past participle. For example, I have already eaten dinner. She has already taken the test. Just. Just means a short time before, A short time before, very short time before. It comes between the auxiliary verb, has or have, and the past participle. For example, I have just seen Susan. I have just seen Susan. Have you just taken the pen? Have you just taken the pen? So just comes here between the auxiliary have or has and the past participle. Still. Still is used with negative sentences. It goes before the auxiliary verb. Here are some examples. I still have not eaten dinner, or I still haven't eaten dinner. She still has not arrived, or she still hasn't arrived. So still comes before the auxiliary have or has. Ever. Ever means at any time. We use ever with questions and negative sentences. For example, the first one is a question. Have you ever studied German? Have you ever studied German? The next one is a negative sentence. I haven't ever been there before. I haven't ever been there before. With never, never means at no time. It always gives negative meaning. For example, I have never been to Brazil. I have never been to Brazil. It means I didn't go Brazil before any time in my life. I didn't go at all to Brazil. Now, let's check our understanding. Complete the sentences with the correct form of the verb between brackets. Use present perfect. Always use have or has plus the past participle. Number 1, they, space, London, this month. Use the verb leave. We should use have or has and the past participle form of the verb leave. So they takes have or has. Yes, they takes have. And the past participle form from leave is left. Yes. So they have left London this month. Number 2, he, space, a lot of English papers yet. We want to use the verb bring but in negative form. Of course it's in negative form because we have yet, which comes always with negative sentences or questions. So with he, we use have or has. Yes, with he, we use has, and in the negative form, hasn't. We change bring into the past participle form from bring is brought. That's right. He hasn't brought a lot of English papers yet. The third one, the cat, space, a mouse. Use just and the verb catch. The cat is singular or plural? Yes, singular. So we use has. And the past participle form from catch is? Yes, caught. But where we put just? Yes, that's right. We put just between the auxiliary and the past participle. So it will be the cat has just caught a mouse. The cat has just caught a mouse. Sorry, I forgot to put just, but it's okay. The fourth one, the boys space the water. Use already and the verb drink. The boys, singular noun or plural noun? Yes, it's a plural noun. We use have. And we put already between have and the past participle. Okay, where is the past participle? The past participle from drink is, yes, drunk. So the boys have already drunk the water. The boys have drunk the water, but if we have already, we put it between the auxiliary and the past participle. The boys has drunk the water. The boys has already drunk the water. The last one, I space the rabbits. We use never and the verb feed. With I, we choose have or has. Yes, with I, we choose have. So I have, where we put never? After the auxiliary. I have never. The past participle from feed is fed. I have never fed the rabbits. I have never fed the rabbits. So we take never and put it here between the auxiliary and the past participle. I have never fed the rabbits. Good. Another kind of questions. Do as shown between brackets. Number one, I have lived in Cairo since 2000. Use for. Oh, since shows the starting point of the verb, it's in 2000. And from 2000 until now, how many years passed? That's right. Let's check our answer. I have lived in Cairo for 20 years. From 2000 until 2020. So I have lived in Cairo for 20 years. That's good. The next one, she has never been to Paris. Use ever. Oh, never and ever are almost similar to each other, but with never we don't need to use not. But if we want to use ever, we must use not in the sentence. So let's check. She hasn't ever been to Paris. Or she has never been. If we want to use ever instead of never, it should be she hasn't ever been to Paris. Has John finished his project? Has John finished his project? Use yet. Or where we put yet, what is its place in the sentence? Yes, that's right. Yet always comes at the end of the sentence, even if it is a negative sentence or it's a question. So we must put yet at the end of it. Has John finished his project yet? Our last example. Adam hasn't slept for 2 days. Adam hasn't slept for 2 days. With for, we use the duration or the period of the verb. But we want to use since. If we use since, we must mention the starting point of the verb. Let's see. Adam hasn't slept since last Monday. So we mentioned the starting point of the verb, which was last Monday. This is our lesson for today, the present perfect simple tense. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Goodbye, grade 6.